Hello, everyone, and welcome to another installment of TEDXcellence, the show in which we find out how to correctly value ourselves. And I come to you live from my Corona bunker on the moon with Dog Cat Fox, a Pepperjack, and all of you. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Monday. Just another manic Monday. Oh, I wish it were Sunday. Yes, it seems like it's been a while since I've done one of these, at least 4 or 5 days. So, see if I can kick the rust off and keep going. Hope everyone is doing good and had a good weekend. What do we have on deck for today? Well, I'll tell you, just like so many of the others in the past, the title alone caught my attention, so I have absolutely no idea what it means. I have absolutely no idea what we're in for. But it's all about owning your unapologetic realness. Owning your unapologetic realness. Sounds like some kind of self-help gobbledygook to me, but who knows? Might learn something. Might come out the other side better than we went in. We'll see. But who's joining me on this journey of discovery today? Why, that would be that one servant of Satania. Hello. Matt Barnes. Hello. Raziel. Hello. Keenan. Hello. Asian Hippie. Hello. Texas Attorney General Secret Agent. Hello. Zalbla. Hello. Check Your Logic. Hello. Keeverdam. Hello. Debatefly. Hello. Dina B. Hello. And then chat jump because of course it does. Black Belt for Christ. Hello. Come back, chat. Go back to where I had you before because Gunfox61. Hello. Wade Waleson. Hello. St. Michael, hello. Big Assassinati, hello. Roger Reynolds, hello. Sabian 187, hello. Sturmalder, hello. Decode, hello. Mike D, hello. Ethan Robbins, hello. Crimson Tiger, hello. Leo Prime 75, hello. Non-Vitae Rex, hello. Poker Pierce, hello. Green Death, hello. Chicago Mike, hello. Drew W, hello. Aspie Auntie, hello. Megan Ring, hello. Milkman Dan, hello. Howard Welsh, hello. Lexi Mads is here. Brad Young, hello. Your boy, Pat. Hello, Pat. I got to have you on one of these at some point in the near future. We got to schedule that. I want to do a tandem with you. I don't know what it'll be about, but we got to do one. We haven't done one yet. Some Namyon Nation, hello. Let's see. Is that everybody? If I missed you, I apologize, but there are so many of you now, it's hard to keep up. So, with that, let us get into it. Brittany Holland, hello. The poll on Twitter said that today's bingo card is bingo card B. B as in boy. You'll find a link in the description. So get your bingo card ready. I'll give you a couple seconds for that. And in the meantime, I'm going to start off with a couple of seconds for sound test. You guys tell me if you can hear this. The talk clocks in at just over 10 minutes today. So let's get into it. Oh, thank you. This is Kyle. Hello, chat people and scribbles. How did you set up that intro for your streams? Are you doing it through OBS? No. So StreamYard allows you to play short video clips. I don't know what the max length is on those, but so I have one for the intro. I have one for the outro. The bingo alert deal, that's a little video clip. So yeah, StreamYards allows for that. So I do a little bit of fiddling around to make sure everything works. And so now I can have a set intro and a set outro, which makes me feel so much more professional than in the past. Dark Resurrect, hello. Peeps Cray, hello. All right. So here we go, guys. TEDx, Cherry Creek. What am I, Elmer Fudd or something? Cherry Creek Women. Tell me if you can hear this, and then we'll proceed.
I think I want to be a junkie when I grow up.
I was not expecting that. I'll tell you what, as opening lines of TEDx's go, that's a good one. That's a good one. Okay. Well, I'm guessing you guys can hear that because everybody is reacting to that. Okay. I hope I didn't blow anybody's ears out with my laughter, but man, I didn't see that coming. All right. I'm assuming that she's going to counterpoint that with something soon. All right. Take me away.
Said no one ever.
Oh, burn.
That wasn't my dream.
Oh, no. Is this going to be a sad story now? Did I just open up this confession of a terrible past with laughter? Now I feel like a jerk.
As a little girl.
Yeah.
But I spent 18 years in the darkness of addiction.
Oh, no.
Meth addiction.
Oh.
I was in and out of county jail
Oh.
until 2011.
Well, I'll tell you this. I mean, given the memes we've seen of meth addicts and everything else, you were fortunate to keep your looks if you were 18 years into a meth addiction. Because, yeah, the outcomes usually aren't that, but she looks healthy. So congratulations to her. All laughter aside. Sorry.
When I found myself being chased down by the feds on a Denver highway, I was being federally indicted.
Yeah.
For conspiracy to distribute methamphetamine.
Mm-hmm.
That's my actual booking photo.
Okay. Yeah, well, I didn't know what we were going to have when we started this, so mystery bag away.
Talk about a wake-up call.
Yeah.
It took a few weeks for my brain to clear and for me to
Yes.
really understand how much trouble I was in,
Okay.
which was a lot.
Uh-huh.
And I just remember this feeling in my soul.
Yeah.
And it was whispering to me that there was a better life if I would just choose more for myself.
Yeah. Oh, boy. This is going to be a downer, isn't it?
And I held on to that still small voice.
Yeah.
And I healed, and I
Okay.
worked hard.
Yes.
And I changed my life.
And in all seriousness, I am glad that you did. I am glad that you did. Where are we going with this?
And by the time I was released from incarceration, I was a changed woman.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, she's only 2 years older than I am, more or less. Okay. All right.
It took a few years for me to acclimate myself to a clean and sober lifestyle, which suited me well.
Okay.
I loved being clean and sober.
I'm glad that you did. Wait, you did? Wait. Loved? Oh, did you fall off the wagon?
More than that, though, I loved being clean and sober Kara.
Uh-huh.
And I had trouble. I had trouble owning my past, though.
Okay.
I had a fractured self-image.
Yeah.
And a deep fear of judgment, and both of those stood in the way of me owning my background.
Okay. This is not your usual TEDx. Oh boy, what a morass. Thank you, Stormadler, Storm Eagle, if you want. Are you telling me how to translate the Deutsch? Of course you are, because you're probably German. But anyway, okay, Storm Eagle. I will attempt to remember that. I took 3 years of German in high school. I can only say a limited few phrases. So. Not even well, really. Maybe ich habe Cocaine geschniffen, something like that.
Which included countless incarcerations, decades of substance abuse, using drugs while I was pregnant with my daughter.
Oh, God.
And now a federal prison sentence.
Yeah.
And this is when I began to climb the achievement ladder.
Okay.
You see, I realized quickly that achievement offered me grace for my past, and people seemed to like and accept me into their circles as I achieved, so.
See, I'm going to, most of these TEDx's I approach with a certain level of sardonic humor and that kind of thing. It's difficult to do that here. Really difficult to do that here. I don't know how entertaining this might be as we go forward. Might be interesting, might be educational. I don't know. I guess it depends on her theory of self-improvement, but Yeah, okay. Because I can't argue with the end result if she's not a meth addict now and not a criminal, if she improved her life. Everybody loves a comeback story. Although it is true that redemption is often far more celebrated than consistency. But anyway.
I achieved.
Yes.
I filled every single day with the job that I had.
Uh-huh.
I also went to college.
Okay.
I served on the board of a nonprofit.
Okay.
I fundraised for other nonprofits.
Okay.
And I belonged to so many groups that it was exhausting trying to keep up with them all.
Is this TEDx like a confession / self-esteem booster for you or something? I mean, oh boy.
I even started training for marathons, thinking that if I could have the personal discipline that it takes to train and run 26 miles, I'd finally be good enough.
Uh-huh.
I believed that if I did enough,
Yeah.
I'd have value.
Uh-huh.
It was nonstop doing instead of centered and confident being.
I can't argue with that.
And then a seemingly random event happened in my life.
Uh-huh.
An executive from a corporation in New York City offered me a role with their company.
Okay. I can't tell if we're just basically doing a big one giant brag session here. I mean, for all her hardships, let's be honest, you know, her situation was self-chosen. Surely it was fueled by addiction. Don't get me wrong. I know that addiction is a difficult beast to master. But okay, you pulled yourself out of the pit. You started being productive. Congratulations. Good for you. Where are we going with this?
It was very exciting.
Yeah.
But it meant working remotely and alone from Denver.
Well, none of us have any experience with working remotely now, do we?
I really thought that it was my dream job.
Uh-huh.
But when my home became my office,
Yeah.
it actually became my prison.
I mean, I can sort of sympathize with that notion, given the fact that, you know, my home is now my office and has been for the better part of this entire year. But that's true for a lot of people. But even if I wasn't working from home, if I was just stuck at home, I'd still feel like it was kind of a prison.
I was so used to having a structured day filled with constant interaction and affirmation from other people. And all of a sudden, there were no achievements and no people in my day-to-day.
Uh-huh.
Working at home suits some people, but for me, I had never done it before.
Uh-huh.
I had no idea what to expect.
I'm still completely bewildered as to where we're going with this. I mean, her story of, you know, survival, redemption, etc. Okay, I get you. You know, it all sounds very, very wise. You know, introspective. Okay, and
The isolation of living alone and working from home
yeah,
led to a familiar darkness that I had not known in many years.
you relapsed. Is that where we're going with this?
I see now that change in isolation shows us very quickly where the cracks are.
Yeah.
I had been clean and sober for over 8 years,
And then
and I relapsed.
uh-huh.
First on alcohol,
Yeah.
and then with meth.
Okay.
I had focused so much on projecting this confident image to people that when my quicksand self-image dissolved, I relapsed. And I didn't want anybody to know about it.
Uh-huh.
My identity and my branding was built on being clean and sober Kara.
My identity and branding. Interesting choice of words. I suppose that is just the way things are these days. You know what I'm surprised by? So far as I can tell, I haven't had any reason to go to the bingo card. So I believe all of her anecdotes so far because they are not self-aggrandizing in some way. She's telling a very personal story. She's so far not trying to sell me on any kind of new concept or argument or anything else. I'm not quite sure what she's trying to sell me on. And I know, I mean, what's the point of the presentation, I guess? I don't know. Boy. Okay, well, TEDx giveth and TEDx taketh away.
And I had spent 8 years showing people that those of us who struggle with substance abuse and previous incarceration have value beyond statistics and stigmas.
Okay, just because I'm trying to get something going on here, I'm going to say, because it does fit, free space and collectivizes own demographic. Just putting that out there. Okay, we're on the board a little bit.
Have you ever been so ashamed of something from your past that you either tried to shove it down like it never happened, or you thought you could achieve your way out of its shadow?
No. I mean, the most shameful thing I ever did, I've come to terms with, and I've got no problem talking about. You know, I in college, I slept with my best friend's crush, and before it happened, he knew or sensed that there was some kind of chemistry going on between she and I, and he asked me point blank not to act on it. And I told him I didn't think I could make that promise. And I'm glad I didn't make the promise, because I certainly would have broken it. And then afterwards he found out, and I lost him as a friend, and I deserved it. I got everything that was coming to me after that. I did a very, very bad thing that I knew better to do, but I had a brief period of being far too full of myself, and did that, and got what I deserved. Betraying a friend like that, worst thing I ever did, you know, especially basically to his face. So, yep, that was worst thing I ever did. But yeah, no, it was never anything that I felt like I had to hide from. You know, it's not something I'm proud of, but the only thing I could do after that was mark that as, I never want to be that guy again. I never want to hit that low again. And I'm never going to do that again to anybody else. You know, that was my worst moment. And, you know, to some people, that's probably fairly tame. I'm sure, you know, in some people's lives, that would be a footnote and not a landmark, let's say. But for me, like I say. So anyway, so far as I can tell, you know, within reason, of course, I've always had my life be an open book. I've never been so ashamed of something that I wasn't willing to talk about it or, you know, discuss it, you know, circumstances being appropriate, of course. But yeah.
Like me?
No, not like you.
As part of my achievement-based lifestyle, I had begun training for the New York City Marathon when I began this period of isolation that ultimately led to my relapse.
Okay.
While I was stitching myself back together in a rehab facility, I had a decision to make. Do I keep training for this race or not?
I don't know. I mean, accepting the fact that you had this checkered past, accepting the fact that you made big strides to improve yourself, accepting the fact that you relapsed, I'm still waiting for the point. That's about as critical as I can get at this stage of the game. I'm waiting for the point. Where are we going with this?
And not much else made sense in my life at the time. So I kept training. And days turned into weeks and months, and race day finally arrived. And I flew to New York City.
Okay.
It was so glamorous. I was running the New York City Marathon.
Oh my gosh. Okay, now I can't help but ask, do you think those are her real teeth? All of them? I mean, if she was a meth addict for 18 years, do you think she had some work done? That's the best I got, guys. That's the best I got. Thank you, John Miller. Sounds like she needs a counselor. Behavioral health is an ignored part of our health. It's true. It's true. I'm assuming that she has moved past her relapse at this point. I don't know. I guess we'll find out, but we'll see. Anna Lynn says, can't anyone run the New York City Marathon? I don't know what the qualifications are or how much you have to pay for it. I'm sure there's some kind of entry fee or some craziness, but she was able to fly from, I guess, Colorado to New York and everything. So she's not doing too badly in that regard.
Like, oh my gosh. In the morning of, everybody's taking the ferry down to Staten Island, and I joined them.
Uh-huh.
And I looked out at all the other runners when we got to the island.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be invisible.
Okay. Is this an inspirational story of advancement or anything else, or this just a pity party? Where are we going? We're running a marathon, but I don't know the route.
What if the other runners knew that I had relapsed on meth a few months prior?
I don't know.
Runners don't relapse on meth, I told myself.
Mind reading assumes motives, I suppose. I'm being really loose with this one because this isn't your standard TEDx, pontificating on some quasi-academic subject or anything.
And then I had one of those profound spirit moments
that
when they happen, you know that it's God's voice, and he is either speaking to you or through you.
Okay.
And I realized what I was ashamed about is what actually gave me true identity. Yeah. You see, our stories, they define our authentic identities.
Oh boy, we just turned a corner. Okay. Yes, our stories, our authentic identities. Oh boy. I think John Miller would bring a new meaning to runner's high. Ha 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 ha. Okay, tell me about your authentic identity.
And my story included all kinds of things I wasn't proud of.
Yeah.
Years spent in and out of jail.
Yes.
A prison sentence.
Uh-huh.
This relapse.
Yeah. Nothing else? No actions taken while you were an addict? You didn't steal? I mean, you didn't hurt anybody? That's it? Okay. I mean, it's up to her to say what she wants to say, but you keep coming back to the prison sentence. Like, all right.
Every single part of my story is beautiful and it's unique to me.
Uh-huh.
Just like every single part of your story is beautiful and unique to you.
I don't know if I'd say that what I did in college is beautiful. I don't think that what I did in college is inherently unique. I mean, it's unique in my life. It's not beautiful. It's not something I hold up as, something to be prized or precious or something. It's a learning experience. It was a horrible mistake I made. I made a very bad decision, and all I can do after that is learn from it and try not to do it again and be a better person than I was than the day before and so on. That's just all you can do. Do you really think that your time in federal prison was a beautiful experience or something? I guess it depends on how you make the most of it. I don't know.
And this is when I decided to choose to live my life unapologetically real.
Unapologetically real. Okay, attempt to coin new buzz phrase. Unapologetically real. I think we're getting to the point where we're going to start selling her self-help book or something.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
It means, to the best of my ability, I show up in my authentic skin and not a safer, projected version of me.
Right. So it's called being honest. Got it.
It means that I embrace all the imperfections from my past.
Uh-huh.
Especially the ones that I don't want anybody to know about.
Uh-huh.
It means that I love myself. And I give myself grace for being a human.
Give yourself grace for being a human? That doesn't take a lot of work to be a human, because anyway. Duck Dog says, Scribelate, they are not her teeth. The Harvard School of Medicine gave them to her. Is that something you just looked up, or is that just a joke? Interesting. Anyway, yeah, good for you. Here's the thing, and I guess this is where I'll do a little critique. You're right, speaker. You're right to a certain extent. You know, your life, your experiences, coming to terms with what you did and who you are, and the good, the bad, the ugly, and so on. Yeah, that's true. That's true. You're not special. Your insights are not unique. You're not telling me anything new. You know, by proportion, nothing that you went through and how you've managed it and handled it, etc., is any different than anyone else. You know, like I said, what I did in college, insofar as my life is concerned, is probably the lowest I was ever at, the worst thing I ever did, intentionally the worst thing that I ever did to somebody that didn't deserve it, and so on. Knowing the consequence. See, it's one thing to do something and find out after the fact that, you know, there was a consequence that was unforeseen. I knew what the consequence would be of my action, and I did it anyway. Right? And I knew that the consequence would be a negative one upon someone I cared about, but I did it anyway. That was the lowest I went. And like I said, that compared to a lot of other people's lives, even your life, obviously, is not that bad by comparison. But proportionally speaking, that was my lowest. And I've done everything I can since then to not be that person again. And I've gone through the same self-reflection, the same embracing my flaws and my bads and my goods, etc., to be the best me I can be. You might have a very checkered life. You might have a whole lot of struggles that I have absolutely no knowledge of. But your process does not make you special. You need to do that on your own. Why do you need validation from an audience? Why do you need to tell people that you figured it out? Why? I don't know.
I may or may not have been the only runner that day who relapsed on meth during training, but I can tell you one thing for sure. Okay,
now that is a phrase probably never said in the history of the human language of speech. Just an amazing combination of words right there. Duck Dog said, I looked it up. Okay. All right. She got, her teeth were a gift from the heart. You know how much those kind of teeth must cost for the normal person? How the heck did she? Wow. She saved a lot of money on that one.
I was a flawed human being out there about to run my heart out with other flawed human beings.
Oh, okay. So at least you acknowledge that you're not that special in that regard. I know I've asked this so many times. Where are we going with this? What is the point of this?
And I finished that race, loving my flawed self.
Are you just bragging about your self-accomplishments? Okay, obviously her upper teeth had some work done, but her lower teeth are uneven, so maybe those are still her natural teeth, I guess. I don't know. So when I'm looking at this photograph, then you're still on meth. Is that it?
I made the commitment that morning on Staten Island to heal my identity and my self-image.
Okay.
So I could finally embrace my past, embrace my flaws, and embrace my unapologetic realness.
Yeah, that's her new buzz phrase. Has she written a book, I wonder? Or a self-help guide?
What are the stories of your past that you don't want anybody to know about?
Like I said, I don't really have anybody that I don't want anybody to know about. I mean, there's some that really don't matter to bring up most of the time. I mean, if somebody asked me specific questions or something, unless it was, specifically to my, very personal life or something that was private between me and another person or whatever, I don't know. Like I say, I'm pretty much an open book, and I've come to terms with the good and the bad and the ugly of me, and just try to do my best.
Are you tired of hiding?
No.
I know I was.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Tickle Trunk, for the happy dog cat fox. Oh, lovely dog cat fox. See that, dog cat fox? You see that? Wowie, wow, wow. Yeah, dog cat fox appreciates that. Thank you, Mr. Tickle Trunk.
What if
Yes.
we loved ourselves so much
Uh-huh.
that the fear melted away?
Well, sometimes I love myself so much I chafe. Oh, wait, no, that came out wrong. Did it? Thank you. This is Kyle. She doesn't know what her point is or where she's going. She just needed a blog to vent on, and TEDx was happy to oblige. That's what I'm getting so far. It's sort of the only phrase that comes to mind is humble brag, but I don't doubt that she's led a completely chaotic life and has worked very hard to pull her way out of the pit. I'm just not quite sure what the point is of this particular presentation, except to, well, humble brag.
Can you imagine a world where we can embrace our stories and share our truth?
Yes. I'm living in it right now. Because I choose to, I guess.
The world needs our stories now more than ever, and what we think are the worst parts about us are truly the most beautiful parts. And if we would have the courage to share them, would help others on their journey to embracing their authentic identities.
Okay, all right, calm down, take a breath. I know you're now a zealot of your own personal self-help religion, but just take it a step down. You're not wrong. Yours is a very dramatic story of redemption, I suppose, not knowing the fullness of your crimes or whatever else, but okay, all right. A, you're not the first person to have figured this out. B, there are a lot of people out there, probably more than you realize, who operate more or less exactly the same as you do. And C, are you selling a book or something?
What's the first step?
What? Well, okay, all right. First step. Well, you know what? I'll take that as at least the hint of a list. I don't think we're going to get to a bingo today, guys. But all right. What's the first step?
What is the first step in us owning our unapologetic realness?
Confession, I guess. Telling our stories, I suppose. Embracing our darkness, the darkness. I don't know. You tell me.
It's permission.
Permission. Permission to feel bad?
It's permission. Will you give yourself permission today to let your soul, your body, and your mind know to the core of your being that every single one of your stories from the past is not something to hide in shame, but to embrace and to share?
Well, I mean, within reason, sure, I guess. I mean, I don't think most of my stories are all that interesting, and okay. Yeah, all right. See, I at least in my case, she's essentially, at least, abstractly pushing in an open door, since I basically already do that, but okay.
When we open up ourselves and we share the real stuff, that's when life goes from disassociated and lacking connection to deeply connected and real. I know it's scary.
Yeah.
I know it's scary.
You see with a big smile on your face of donated teeth.
But I have been in a literal prison behind barbed wire fencing.
Yep, and you put yourself in there.
And a prison that existed solely in my head and in my heart.
Most of us do.
And I can tell you that owning my unapologetic realness and standing in my truth, it's the most free I have ever been.
Okay.
Will you join me?
I will decline joining you as my troop leader on this journey. I think you got enough energy all for yourself right there.
In becoming real,
Oh, okay.
unapologetically real. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I won't deny that she has passion for her own personal religion. Thank you, Pecoraro driving 8-man word salad. Yeah, I'm gonna let's go over the card real quick here because wow, that went a lot quicker than I thought it would. I was imagining. Well, hell, I don't know what I was imagining. I suppose, but here's where we are so far. Let's see. Anecdote that probably never happened. I believe every story she told. I don't have any reason to disbelieve them. The ones that she told, I believe it. Self-vilification or wretchedness. Certainly, she did that. Not in a way that was meant to be necessarily manipulative or something, but she did do that. Systemic institutional, no. Weightless example, no. Word salad, yes. Leaves out vital context. I mean, I'd be more curious as to like the fullness of her crimes and other things, but for the sake of the presentation, she didn't leave out anything that was like necessary, I guess. This is a tough one because she really wasn't pitching anything so much as like maybe just encouraging people to be better people, which I can't fault her for. White supremacy, no. Privilege, no. Equity, no. Plays victim. Well, you know, I didn't feel like she was playing a victim. She was owning her bad acts. And in that sense, I can't say that she was playing a victim. She was confessing that entire time. So wage gap, no. Patriarchy, no. Feminism, no. Diversity and inclusion, no. Marginalization, no. Make something about race, sex, etc. for no reason, no. Childhood or family anecdote. Well, she did say she took drugs while she was pregnant, and you know, given the fact that it's not going to get us a bingo, I'll circle that one just on the off chance. Contradicts own point or argument. No, she didn't. No. Benevolent condescension. No. And microaggressions, unconscious bias. No. I mean, I'll take arguments to the counter there, but that's what I have so far, guys. That is the card as it stands right now. So if you have squares that you think can be circled, if you have arguments for it, by all means, put them in the chat. And then we'll wrap this up because, yeah, there wasn't a lot of there, if you know what I mean. Let's see. Vercingetorix. Rudeness and entitlement, just a sheer avoidance of accountability. I didn't get that from her. I mean, she was over passionate about how much she was accepting of herself. I don't know about rude. I guess you'd have to be more specific about what you mean. Let's see. Storm Eagle. She owned them, yes, but she said it's all beautiful. Well, beauty, eye of the beholder. I mean, I would disagree that the worst things I've ever done are beautiful, but you know, if you say, well, it's just one part of the tapestry that is the all of you, and the tapestry that is the all of you is beautiful, and therefore, John Miller, did she even have an argument? No, she was more just sort of trying to be encouraging, maybe being a bit self-conscious about affirming her own sense of how the world works in front of an audience, that kind of thing. I think this might have been more a self-esteem / therapy exercise for her at the end of it. Although I am curious about the constant refrain of unapologetic realness over and over again, if that's not like the name of her blog or the name of her upcoming book or something. Annalyn, do you remember when these talks were about technology, engineering, and design? Well, here's the thing, Annalyn, you're incorrect. It's technology entertainment and design. Now it's all right. I was confused too for a while, but I had to look that up at one point, and it's about technology, entertainment, and design. But you're still right. This had nothing to do with that. But then it's TEDx, so it's brand X. Who knows? Lexi Mads, Scribe Light, yeah, I don't get the clean and sober Kara was my brand. Weightless example because what brand? What does she do that forces her to be perceived as that person? Well, I mean, I kind of got it. I mean, again, this is interpretation. She was trying to sell herself on the version of her based on her activities post-prison. But she was running away from the real problems going on, and she was just filling her life with activities and distractions, productive distractions, but all the same, not coming to terms with all the stuff that she did and so on. And so branding herself, she created a secondary version of herself that was a mask over what she needed to come to terms with. So little gobbledygook armchair psychologist kind of speak, I get what she was saying. I already circled word salad, so it's probably in there somewhere. Let's see. Jago Dragon, buzz phrase. Yep, buzz phrase is already circled. Attempt to coin new buzzword, buzz phrase. Let's see. Check your logic. TED is an acronym? Yes. Technology, entertainment, design. No, that in the broad strokes, that's what these talks are supposed to fall into categorically. And TEDx doesn't most times. Let's see. Milkman Dan, Scribelight, do you think she huffs her own farts through a meth pipe or straight from her ass? Like I said, it's difficult for me to assess, was this a humble brag or was this one of those, sort of cognitive behavioral therapy kind of things where she goes on stage in front of an audience and effectively confesses and pours her heart out? Was this TEDx an extension of her personal philosophy, telling her story, not being ashamed of it, owning it, and on and on? That's what it felt more like to me. Because like I say, it didn't feel manipulative in any particular way. I didn't get a sense that she was being disingenuous. Overzealous? Sure. Maybe a little full of herself. The whole thing was about herself. So, yeah. Thank you, Jake Tungseth. Institutional. She was in a correctional institution. You know what, Jake? Okay. All things considered, I'll give that one to you. Sure. I guess she was in the system. Sure. All right. Jago, I felt like a priest in a confessional though throughout that whole thing. Yeah, that's kind of how I got it. Kieverdam leaves out vital context. She mentioned her daughter once and then said that she lived alone, Scribelight. Oh. Do I want to say that's vital context, though? And if she does live alone without her daughter, can we really be surprised at that point? Because she talked about being pregnant with her daughter before federal prison. So I think I can connect the dots. I don't think I need to have had it spelled out for me, honestly. Let's see. Just a couple more minutes, guys, and we'll wrap this up. Milkman Dan. Personally, I think she's traded getting high on meth for getting high on how good she is for not doing meth, whether it's cigarettes or whatever. I hate those people. Well, it's true. You don't, even if you kick a particular habit, you don't necessarily escape an addictive personality. Usually that's going to stick. And like you say, you got to fill up that space with something else. So do you ever really escape it? I don't know. That's a personal thing, person to person. Is she as free and healthy and better now than she was when she was on drugs? I'm hoping, medically speaking, physically speaking, that's the case. Psychologically speaking, I think she's still chasing the dragon, so to speak. I hope all the best for her, obviously. But the talk alone shows that she's still working through things. And is that all that much different from most of us? Hers just might be more of an extreme example. And let's see, a couple more things. Gunfox, whatever happened to her daughter? Don't know. Let's see. And Jago says, whatever happened to her daughter, it was better than being raised by her. Under those circumstances, probably, and both legally speaking. And let's see. Lexi says, Milkman Dan, I've seen so many ex-addicts do this. It's a high in any way they can get it. Rewired Sojul, for instance, when he accused Bobby Burns of being high. I don't know what that is, but something else. I mean, and, you know, if that's her way of coping, but she's not hurting anybody in the process and she's not getting back on chemicals or anything, you know, take that for what it is. That's certainly miles long better than what she was at before. Whether or not it's healthy psychologically for her in the long run, who can say? I can't hate somebody that has moved their way out of being a criminal and out of being a drug addict and so on. I have a certain amount of respect for people that are able to do that because I only can abstractly know how tough that is. But at the end of the day, just being a survivor, just being someone who's moved past that doesn't give you carte blanche to be anything other than respectful to other people. And I don't know how she is with other people. That's a whole other question. So anyway, and no one know her. Why the highway chase by the feds? They don't usually chase a user for possession. No, they were chasing her for conspiracy to distribute, I think it was. That was what it was. She was dealing drugs or shipping drugs or whatever. But that was my assessment. And Wade Waleson says she was a bit manic, but it was a good stream. Thank you, Scribe. Well, thank you so much, Wade. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to call it here. This is the bingo card as it exists right now. No bingo. Kind of a scattershot presentation. Didn't know what I was getting into from the title, and I guess, well, you get what you pay for. Anyway, everybody, if you'd like to hear more from me or Satsu 2 Cents or the Ranting Monkey, you can find all three of us tonight on Satsu 2 Cents' channel at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern for the Lords of the Night, where we will talk about the news of the day, news stories you submit, what we've been up to on the internet, and then your questions and comments. Everyone, thank you so much for your attendance. Thank you so very much for your participation on this one. And everybody who donated, thank you so much for your generosity. I really do appreciate it. And thank you, Jago Dragon. Thank you, Scribelight. Well, thank you, Jago. I appreciate it so much. Regardless, everyone, I hope you are all safe and well. If you're not well, please get well soon. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.